We're going to talk about some of the shoes that, I guess, mistakes that come up when you're doing restorations.
The most common mistakes.
Most common mistakes that come up, and some of the ways that you can fix it, I suppose. So take it away.
We're gonna start off with reglues, because that's one of the biggest questions I get. A lot of people, especially this model, the Jordan 11 model, a lot of people have issues with it. Main reason because all the curves, the phylon is very sensitive, and it's a hard shoe to reglue. So I mean, as you see here, the uppers are completely screwed. It's actually shrunk. It's like there's a huge gap now because I did these back in my sophomore year in high school, and I used E9000 or E6000, whatever that glue is, what everyone says is good. It's not good. Don't use any other glue besides Barge Super Stick Cement or Barge Infinity Cement. Those are the only two glues that you can use. And there's actually, if you want to pay big bucks for it, there's a water-based glue that you can get overseas. I don't have a link, so don't ask us, but I know that there is a glue that is as strong as Barge, if not stronger. Those three glues are the only glues that you should use. Stop using super glue. Stop using Gorilla Glue. It's freaking 2019, please. There's a bunch of videos on how to reglue properly. I have a reglue video. It gives you full in-depth what glue I use, what method I use, how I get the glue so clean, and how I get the glue line so clean. Like, go check that video out. It will literally help you master your reglues, and then you can turn it over into sole swaps. But that big mistake is reglues and using the wrong glue and taking on jobs that you're not ready for. I took this job on thinking I can do it. I screwed my brother over. Now I'm gonna buy him a brand new pair of 2012, or maybe if they release this year, I'll get him those. But I mean, I screwed over somebody. Imagine if this wasn't my brother, I would have been screwed. And like, I have Carmine's here. I'm not gonna take him out, but I did one mistake. Tape pulled off a little bit of the Durabuck, and I owed this guy $400, and I paid him that out of my pocket. So you need to be aware of your skills, and you need to be aware of what you can and can't do. It's not a pride thing. Get pride out of the way. Not everything is restorable. Not everything is worth being restored. So I mean, that's one of the biggest mistakes, is taking on jobs you don't know and using the wrong glues. So definitely I use Barge Super Stick. It's the best. It's strong. I learned how to use it properly, and I just love it. Next thing would be repaints and how to strip a midsole properly. There's tons of ways. There's a fingernail method, there's a filing method, there's a water and filing method, there's acetone, there's paint strippers, and then there's what else? I think that's really it. Those are the most common ones.
Well, I know when I was first starting off, I showed you the Jordan 3 that I had. I have a 2003 Air Jordan White Cement 3, and one of the first things that I had done wrong.
Alright guys, thanks.
One of the first things that I had done wrong on it was actually go hard on it with the acetone. So I guess Sal can talk about like how to properly strip a shoe using acetone.
So I mean, it's acetone. It's really strong. It's really, really strong. So you need little to no pressure. If you do no pressure at all, you're gonna just get a bunch of cotton remnants left on the shoe. So you need to put a little pressure, but it's not a lot. Stripping midsoles is something you learn. And then if you do use acetone, you're most likely going to open pores depending on the year of the shoe. And right here, Marvin's got some cotton balls that I get from Walmart in a pack of 400 for no more than like $5 for each 400 count pack.
So, I mean, for example, like you have your, and we're not going to do it, but I mean, just for example, so like how would somebody go about, I guess, doing this one?
Yeah, so I mean, if you go to strip this, I usually do 1 to 2 pumps, depending on how much acetone is in here. That's why I love this pump, because you can control the amount of acetone rather than having an open lid and then pouring hella. So you control the acetone, and then you barely put any pressure. Because you're probably going to get tired, you're going to get frustrated. If you are getting frustrated and you feel like it's taking forever, take a break. Because if you try to rush anything, you're going to ruin the midsole. And you guys will see this video on my channel a little later, as one of my buddies tried to use an X-Acto knife to take off paint, and it caused him a big chunk, and we fixed it. So these just got to get painted now. But there's a lot of ways to take paint off. You just need to be very careful, and you also need to be aware of what, and you know more about this than I do, but you need to be aware of what year the shoes are and what kind of midsoles they are. You want to explain? Because I don't know too much about it. I just know the basics.
Well, I mean, so what I've learned is that I guess 2005, I would say 2005 and well, it started in 2005. So below those years, they were using what's called open cell polyurethanes, and those are more porous. So you'll find that in like 2000 retros or 2001 retros.
These are 09 too, so.
Yeah. They won't show like, or they're actually, when you hop into them, they're soft, they're nice. Like I remember back then, like they were really soft and everything. So like a lot of the times, like these are bricks now, because what they use now is closed cell polyurethanes. And you guys can Google this. I might even throw a link in the description so you guys can read about it. But
yeah, make a video on this.
Yeah, open cell polyurethanes and closed cell polyurethanes. So that's why you see with 2005 and up, you'll see a lot of the paint cracking on like your Air Jordan 4s that came out a lot of the times during those years. I mean, you can even bring out those Lightning 4s again. Those types had cracked over the years.
Yeah.
And that's when you need a simple repaint to bring those back. So this is around the time that they started incorporating closed cell polyurethanes in shoes. So it's not as porous, but it is, a bit dense now. So I mean, there's pros and cons to both. The older models from the 2004 and below, those are going to crack a lot more easier because air and chemicals get into the shoe to breathe. So that's why it's soft. Whereas like now, and you can even talk about like how hard it is to strip the newer shoes.
I mean, nowadays they're using like a latex paint, because if you do acetone, like the Katrinas is a good example. Katrina 3s that just recently released, nothing works. So what a majority of us do is we sand down the finisher, but there's still, it's like a dye now or latex, whatever it is, whatever they use, it's indestructible now. So that's why you don't see like the Black Cement 3s cracking. You won't see the Black Cement 4s cracking. You won't see, we might see True Blues cracking. But I mean, they're using these weird paints now, and it's hard to strip. Like these Crimsons that I had, it took me forever to strip because I had no idea what type of paint it was. And I'm pretty sure it was a latex paint. So that just goes back to knowing what type of shoe you're working with and what material you're working with. And that's still something I'm learning. When I was working with shoes with latex paint, I was looking up how to strip latex paint, how to safely do it, because it's still a polyurethane midsole. It just has this paint over it that's kind of indestructible. So I wanted to be very careful.
Yeah, so even though Sal's been doing this for some time, he's still doing the research, he's still putting in the work, trying to hone his craft and learn like what exactly he needs to get done in order to do this job. So out there, if you guys are, again, looking into getting into the restoration game, these are some of the things that you guys need to start looking up, start doing the research, start doing your own work on sneakers so that you can build that experience. All right, so we got the tab thing here with the Air Jordan 3 True Blue. So
these ones are from 2009, and tab swaps recently is becoming very huge, mainly because Jordan Brand is giving us what we want, which is the Nike Air branding. It's just their tabs are kind of trash, and then some people are getting annoyed with how the alignment of the letters are. So what a lot of people are doing, whether it's a True Blue 3 like this from 2009, or if it's a Cactus Jack that they want to be friends and family, or if it's a 2001 shoe, an older one where the original tabs are cracking and they just want to do a full-on overhaul of the shoe, I go ahead and send them over to either JSocologist or Red Inside on Instagram. Main reason is because this shoe right here is 2 years old. It's my very first tab swap, and it's still on there. It's still strong. These two guys, they have the strongest, the most durable, the most cleanest, and it's the easiest to use. And they're both great, amazing guys in the way they run their businesses. They're amazing. So I mean, there's a bunch of other brands that are pretty bad. So I strictly would say like stick with Red Inside or stick with JSocologist. They will take care of you. And then come to someone like me who can install the tabs properly if you don't want to do it yourself. But those are one of the biggest. Oh, and then fitment. My God, again, check out my reglue video. That's the same way I do my tabs. You need to take it slow, because dude, I've seen some pretty doo-doo tab swaps done by big people who are sponsored by big companies, and I'm just like, wow, that is trash. They'll have it like this. Let's see if I can get it lined up. Instead of all the underneath material be covered by the elephant print, they'll have it like this. Kind of, let's lower it. Right there. It's so bright. They'll have a bunch of gaps. A bunch of gaps all around it. You don't want any gaps whatsoever. You want everything to be completely underneath the elephant print. That's the main reason they make these, and that's the main reason they come to you, because they want it to look better than factory, if not factory. So when doing tap swaps, you got to be very careful, and that's again why I love Red and J's, because they're so easy to use. They're literally made from not copies, literal tabs from an original shoe or from a recent year shoe.
They're using molds.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. They're using literal molds. So you can order a 2000 type air tab, or a 2019 air tab, or an 89 air tab. So those two are great, and they do other stuff too. They do, like, I'm pretty sure Red does wings for the Jordan 4, because I know a lot of the Jordan 4s nowadays, they're cracking. He makes these things. He makes these as well right here. The DMP 11, how it has that gold plastic piece on the side. Red inside makes that. I think Jay makes that too. So a lot of stuff like that they make. So go check them out. Definitely go check them out. That's what I use on all of mine.
Nice. All right, guys. So this again is Sal the Sneakerhead. If you guys want to follow him, I'll put all his links and infos in the description box below. You guys can check him out. Also follow him on IG at Sal the Sneakerhead. And, you know, I hope you guys got a lot of info. That was a ton of info that we talked about here in terms of restoration. So if you guys do want to get into this type of stuff, like, this always fascinates me, because it's always understanding the internals of what we wear. And Sal does a great job of, you know, trying to have customers understand and all this. So, like, he's a godsend. He's a good friend. I've known him for a good year. And yeah, also I do want to plug in that we do have together a P.O. box.
Oh yeah.
So if brands, if
people in general,
like, if you have something that you want, I guess, us to unbox on camera, or, you know, test out your product and whatnot, I will leave a link in the description. Just either put my name or his name, or...
And we'll go grab it. But we're like two of the realest people, so don't expect us to sugarcoat anything. If we don't like it, we don't like it. And if we don't like it, we probably won't make a video on it. But just expect honest to God truth, hands down, on your products if you guys do send any over. But we are very appreciative for you guys even thinking about it. So I just wanted to say that right then and there.
Okay. So, I mean, we're done with the video part of this, but I guess we're going to be going into an IG live question. But if you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop it down in the description, or not the description, the comment section down below. And, you know, we can reply, get back to you guys if you guys have any additional questions.
I hope it helps everybody. You know, the main thing I want to get out is just take your time. You know, don't rush things. Don't go and charge people right off the back. And don't rush your shoes that you're working on. Take your time. If you go over your given turnaround time, that if you have customers that you've given to your customers, take it slow. Explain to them why it's going slower than expected, and they'll understand, and they'll be completely fine with it because they trust you. That's my biggest thing I want to get to people.
All right.
All right, guys. Peace out. Have a good one.